Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, the 2nd of August, 2022. Welcome to Hindsight, where we learn to be a better trader. We're going to take a look at a few trades that we've taken today, some interesting setups, and what didn't go so well. First things first is ZipPay. Didn't end up taking this trade. I did take SZL instead. However, I do want to talk about this candle, this bearish engulfing candle. And this is what I'd pretty much refer to as the death candle. One would expect to see this and then not expect the stock to recover anytime soon. But what we do have is a 3-day pullback, right? This is day 1, got day 2, and this is meant to be day 3, which is typically where I buy on the 4th day, or at least buy on the closing auction of the 3rd day or the morning auction of the 4th day, in order for a setup where it just rallies. Now, how far is that rally? I don't really know. There's no metric, there's no measurement, no calculation. It's not like 10%, 15 or 20 ticks or anything like that. It's just a general rule of thumb. When something pulls back for 3 days, including the day that it sold off, the 4th day tends to be a bounce. So you can see my tweet on that one. I posted on Discord at 2 p.m. that the BNPLs and specifically SZL was gonna, not that it was going to, but I was planning to buy it for the rally. And you can see it sort of rallies a little bit of a pop at 2:30 on Zip, but the big volume came in at around 3 o'clock where it sort of started its momentum. And we can zoom out and probably look at it at the 3-minute chart to look at it a bit clearer at exactly what's happening. And we can see that it's making lower highs, and all of a sudden in the morning that changed a little bit. It decided to pop, but it did pull back for a very long time and then eventually break out and close at its highs. And that was actually quite interesting to watch. But for me, I was trading SZL. The levels were so much better, and all the levels got absolutely murdered through. The bids just kept coming. There was no real pullback. Now, I was away at around 3 o'clock when it started pumping. Someone messaged me and said that it was actually going like I was planning to. It was going like I'd planned, but I was looking at buying at the auction, right? So I come back, I run to my computer, and end up getting 955 and 96. I was looking for the first pullback because by the time I got to my screens, this was already happening, this move to the upside. So ended up catching whatever pullback I could. I was planning on just fucking getting in. I don't care where it was going. This happening from 3 p.m., that's like hour of power stuff. We used to have hour of power pre-COVID. You know, these moves were pretty significant and they were very attractive, and they'd usually lead to a morning move on the following day. So it's good to see the hour of power is back, and we'll see what it looks like in the morning for tomorrow. So that's the setup. Here's the daily chart. It looks a little bit better than ZipPay's in my opinion. And ZipPay, I mean, look, if the momentum and volume continues, $2 is about where its equity is. So that might not be out of the question for ZipPay. $2. I mean, that's a big ask. I mean, don't fucking hold me to it. We really got to see what the price action is for Wednesday. If enough volume comes in, then, you know, $2 is a big ask, and probably sometime next week at the earliest. Maybe. Fuck, it's really hard to tell. This is very unusual price action, but I love it. Before I go into Appen, CBE. Speaking of stocks with really, really good setups, this one rallied into close yesterday, and I ended up buying it at, where was it? 21. So here it is. This is the close here. Yeah, to be more specific. So I ended up getting it at, I think it was 20 and 20 and a half, and maybe some at 21. But it opened up, interestingly, it gapped down by a tick, sold off, a bit of funny price action. I got spooked because, again, this is really good afternoon price action leading into a very garbage open where it gaps down. So that was a little bit unfortunate. 25 cents I posted on this day. I posted that this setup leads to about 25 cents. So it was a perfect price target, but I couldn't get there. I had to manage the risk, and it just wasn't setting up nicely in the morning. And then I sort of saw the price action come through, and I thought, fuck it. It is what it is. Just let it go. Appen. If we look at the daily chart, this one had a financial report where it was selling, where it was down 69% on EBITDA. EBITDA being a pretty important calculation for a business. It kind of looks at its profitability, operational profitability, and it's down 69%, which is a fucking monster move, right? I expect a bit more selling on Appen in the days to come. That's sort of my expectation. Intraday, it was an absolute mess to trade. I only took the opening drive, because that's a pretty sick drive from $5.73 down to $4.50 is where it opened, and $4.49, and then selling off to $4.22. That's a big move. Ended up closing it out at around $4.18, because I remember seeing the book. There was a lot of price action between $4.16 and $4.18 happening on the bids. There was a bunch of reloads there that were occurring, and just closed that one out around there. That was a 2-minute trade. And didn't bother with the rest because, double bottom, fake out, rally, double top, whatever the fuck this is, and then just chopping bullshit. Appen is kind of known for it, I find. And you can see, if I just zoom in a little bit more, we can see VWAP not respected in any way, shape, or form. So at the middle green dots, VWAP, don't care about it whatsoever. It just... It's such a strange stock, man. So the other one I was looking at was SRX, and this is the 5-minute chart, and it's a recent IPO, which had a really interesting day. And this is it. It's just got on the 5-minute chart, setting up higher highs. I called that one out in the middle of the day. Middle of the day today. It double bottomed. And that's it. It's just making higher lows. It's a nice little setup. It's not very clean, but you kind of get the picture, right? Kind of get the idea that it's ranging. It's range bound. Sure, it wicks a little bit above, but comes back down into range. Order book was an absolute nightmare. A lot of hidden orders, a lot of hidden off-screen sellers, reloading with small size. Bids were spoofed a little bit. Massive iceberg orders in the cross trade on the bid, and it's just a lot of fuckery. Like I don't like dealing with that shit, Ended up buying I think it was either here or it was here. I can't remember which, but ended up buying at 31 and 30 and a half and closing it out. I think it was at 30. I definitely took a loss on it, and it kind of just I was sick of it. Like, I looked at the order book and I was like, this isn't healthy. I normally don't like looking at the order book after the liquidity dries up, but, it is what it is. I wasn't going to deal with a heavily bot-traded stock. So that's pretty much it for today. So really stoked with SZL and Appen today. Unfortunate about CBE, but only took probably an average of 1 tick loss on it, and SRX took about a 1, maybe 2 tick loss, or 1.5 tick on average. So not too fussed about that, because took about 10 ticks on SZL with the 95.5 to 96 buy. So happy with that. Pretty much 10 ticks straight up, and keen to see what tomorrow does. So I'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow. Have a good one.